Listen, let me tell you something. I just testified in the New Hampshire House of Representatives, and I think that this is going to be the last one. I haven't even done all that much of it, but I think that this is a complete and total waste of time. It is a massive waste of time. And let me tell you why. So there is a bill being introduced in Rhode Island that will probably go nowhere if we're being very honest about it. That mirrors the bill in New Hampshire that would ban certain divisive concepts, like the biggest hits, like you can't teach that one race is superior to another, which apparently is a racist concept. It's like is the other one, some of the others are you can't teach people that they should feel guilty because of how they were born. You can't use race or sex scapegoating or stereotyping, things like that. Things like that in normal times we should never actually have to introduce a bill for. And so I found out yesterday that the sponsor of the bill wanted me, and I got some other people to testify for it, and I cleared my schedule in the afternoon because I had to rearrange my entire schedule. I had something I was going to do today. I rescheduled it. I opened up from 3 to 5 because they won't tell you when you're going to testify. You just have to be ready to testify, essentially. And so I cleared my schedule and I just waited to testify. Now, I was told that I was going to get 5 minutes as an expert to testify. It turned out the committee chairman, who is a Democrat, didn't want to do that. Didn't want to hear from experts. And so my time and James Lindsay's time and a couple other experts' time were downgraded to 1 minute, which doesn't really allow you to say anything. Doesn't allow you to say anything of substance. And so when I realized I was going to get no time, and they said, "Oh, you can submit written testimony." I'm sorry. I don't believe they're going to read the written testimony. I'm sorry. Show me any evidence that written testimony does anything, and you might change my tune, but until I have evidence that that does anything and that anyone actually even reads it, I ain't going to waste my time. Sorry. And I'm certainly not going to waste my time in lieu of being originally told I was going to have time to testify and then not being granted that time. So F that. So anyway, I did my 1 minute, and my goal was to frankly call out that they were going to hear a lot of disinformation in the testimony and then get a whole bunch of real world examples in. Well, I started by calling out that they're going to hear a lot of disinformation, either because people don't understand what they're talking about or because they have malicious intent. And right then, boom, chairman, who's a Democrat, interrupts my testimony. I've been given 1 minute, and now the chairman is going, "Oh, well, you cannot question the motives of other people." Yeah, okay, that's how I feel about that. And so I said, yeah, whatever. I only have 1 minute. And then I proceeded to go through a bunch of examples, basically going as fast as I could to get as many examples in there as possible to kind of overwhelm with here's what it's happening. Here's what Coca-Cola did. Here's what Sandia National Laboratories did. Here's an eighth grade class in which they were told that if they believed in the Pledge of Allegiance and they wanted in fairness and justice for all, then it was their jobs to become little social justice warriors and fight to dismantle their white privilege. Just getting through as many examples as I could. And as soon as I get off the thing, I find out two things. One, there was a teacher that made it a class assignment for her students to call in testifying, opposing the bill. Now, if that's not evidence of why this bill is necessary in the GD first place, the teacher is literally making it a class assignment for students to call in and oppose a bill. How is that not telling them what to think? How is that not telling them what to think? So many of these kids, they don't really know what they're talking about because they're doing what their teacher told them to, because God knows they're not going to defy their teacher because they want their A. They know they have to say what the teacher wants them to say to get their A. So a lot of the testimony slots were the fact that I was only given 1 minute because a teacher made this a goddamn class assignment. That's ridiculous enough. But then I get offline and I see, on Twitter, "Girl, you can't have such a tone. I'm sorry. If I'm given 1 minute to talk about something, I'm already interrupted once. I'm going to go as hard as I can, and I'm going to speak as emphatically as I can. And I'm sorry if you are more offended, and the tone I used was frankly no different than what I'm doing right now. Do I have to be small and meek? Do I have to be like a little mouse? Is that what you guys want? If you are more offended at the tone that I'm using than you are that children are being taught in school that they're racist because they're white, that committee chair, older gentleman, his name is Joseph McNamara. If Joseph is probably entirely unaware that his children and or grandchildren are being taught that they're racist in school and doesn't even care. He doesn't even care. Joseph is probably really unaware that both his children and or grandchildren, whatever he may have, are being taught that he is a racist because he is a white man. And that doesn't really matter because none of this matters. This is all a sideshow. This is a sideshow. The fact is that these bills are going to pass in states that are controlled by Republicans that act like Republicans. If the state is not controlled by Republicans who act like Republicans, unlike my governor of Chris Sununu, then the bills are going to fail. And the truth doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So do I think, and at the same time, the right is like, we need more fighters like Donald Trump, and then someone actually comes in and fights and says, I'm going to list as much stuff as I possibly can in the span of the 1 minute that I've been given. Oh my God, you had such a tone! Oh! It's a little like saying, like, Trump's mean tweets are all that matter, right? I bet a lot of y'all are missing Trump's mean tweets now. Would you take Trump's mean tweets over Joe Biden raising your taxes, getting rid of your jobs, raising gas prices, doing all sorts of crazy stuff? Which is more important to you? Tone. As if the left cares about tone. As if the left has ever cared about tone. So where I'm at right now is I don't think I'm going to be testifying at any, like, not unless it's like it's something that I actually believe makes a difference, or it's like in a deeply controlled Republican state. And I'm given time. Because otherwise it's just a waste of my time. It's a waste of energy. And I just don't think it makes a difference. I don't think it matters. And I am like, I'm so blessed to be in this position where I have a platform where I can say what I want to say, and I'll say it in the tone that I want to say it in, and I don't really give a fuck if you like it or not. If you don't like it, don't watch. It's really that simple. Go listen to an intellectual who's going to intellectualize about how critical race theory is bad and never do a goddamn thing to get rid of it. Go do that. Colette will be great for you. But like, this is a waste of time, and I just don't see the point. And I'm not quitting, but I think we all need to be a little realistic about what it's going to take to beat back this ideology. And I do not think that playing nice and acting nice is going to beat it back. If they're going to lie, cheat, steal, lie again, they're screaming right now in that committee. They're still going on. They're screaming in that committee hearing, but this bill is racist. The very first thing this bill bans is teaching that one race is superior to another. That's definition number one. Definition number one. Oh, it's racist. They're gonna lie, like, for literally hundreds of people today are going to lie about this bill. And it's all gonna be taken at face value, because no one is going to contradict them. And you're going to tell me this is a good use of my time? No. Sorry. It's not the truth. And I don't think that saying it's not the truth should be something that we hold back with. If people lie, they should be called liars, and we know exactly what they're going to say. You can, like, dude, it's the same track that plays over and over and over again. I've been doing these trainings. I've been watching these trainings and reacting to them live on my channel. Some of you have tuned in for quite a bit of them. They say the same thing every damn time. We know what they're going to say. We can predict what they're going to say. Why can't we say they're lying? Why is that just a bridge too far when they're lying over and over and over again and have been for years and have no gumption about doing it, but you think that it's going too far to say that they're lying? I'm sorry, I don't understand this mentality. If someone is lying, you say that they're lying. And if you don't, then you're willing to accept the lies. And like, what are you doing? The left is going to do whatever they can do to win these battles. And in states where the Democrats have any control at all, they're going to win because they stick together. They don't attack each other. They don't stray from the goddamn party line. But the right does. Oh my God. I feel like I'm spending more time fighting the right these days than I am the left. I actually get more crap from the right than I do the left. At least right now. I'm sure it's a pendulum. It'll go back and forth. But like, the left doesn't do this crap, man. They don't. They may fight about issues and bicker about issues, but when push comes to shove, they coalesce. And they do the thing that everyone else does. So, I think that it's stupid. I think it's a waste of time. I think that anyone who's complaining about tone, I think that those people are just as frankly, they're just as useless as if they were Democrats. To be really honest, they ain't doing nothing. They ain't winning nothing. Like, how long has the intellectual dark web been around? Like, I don't even know, because I barely even watch YouTube, but it's been like several years, right? How many bills did they pass? How much did they defeat this ideology? How many battles have they won? None? Where have they won? Can anyone name me one battle that an intellectual conversation about this ideology has won? Can you name me one battle? One company that you've gotten this training out of, one school that you've gotten this training, with the exception of Chris Rufo, who I don't even put in intellectual dark web because Chris Rufo's a goddamn warrior. This isn't going to be won by playing nice, and it's not going to be won by playing their games, and I'm sorry, I refuse to do it. I refuse. I goddamn refuse. If people want to be more focused on tone than they are on how much this has escalated, and the fact that children in 8th grade in Fairfax County, Virginia are playing oppression bingo. Children in Nevada are being forced to admit that they're oppressors to their classmates. The amount of harm that is being done, I really have been trying not to blackpill too publicly, but the amount of emotional harm that has been done that we are not even going to realize the full impact of probably for 5-10 years, and maybe not even realize the full impact of it then, but have a much better sense of what it is. Between critical race theory and the lockdowns and the masks, we deserve everything we get because no one is fighting back. Not no one. I shouldn't say that. There are people fighting back. But relative to the scale of the problem and the people that acknowledge the problem, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think this is a winnable battle with the way things are. I do not think that this is a winnable battle until people start getting a fire lit under their asses. And then you have to fight the battle where it makes sense. You have to fight the battle where it's like it's worthy of your time and your attention and your energy. And like testimony? What? No, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to do a damn thing. They're going to listen to children who are doing it as a class assignment? Like, why? Why would I even bother? So, I think Lindsay said this. I'm pretty sure it was Lindsay. We have to make it painful for them to continue this ideology. It has to be made painful for them. And the only way it's going to be made painful to them, it has to be more painful for them to continue with this ideology than it is for them to just, to allow. Hang on. I'm going to say that again. Right now, companies, schools, they're persisting in this ideology. They're buying into it, not necessarily because of like everyone agrees with it, but because it is the path of least resistance. It is the least painful option. Just go along. Just go along with what the teachers want. Just go along with what the students want. Just go along. The students are asking us to do this. Is coming from the students. Of course, it's bullshit. It's coming from the teachers, but like they're doing it because it's the path of least resistance. Executives and organizations, I damn well know they're doing this because it is the path of least resistance. You have to make that more painful. Stop allowing it to be the path of least resistance. Every time they lie, they should be told that they're lying. Every single time. Every single time that this crap is being taught in the classroom, it should be called out and made fun of and mocked relentlessly, because there's nothing these people hate more than mockery. You have to make it harder for them to continue down this path than it would be for them to retreat. Right now, it is easy for them to continue down this path. And when you do the like, oh, I testified today for the bill, it is not going to do a damn thing, and no one's going to read that written testimony anyway, but I did something. You haven't made it harder for them to continue. You haven't made it a better option for them to retreat, but you had the right tone. You haven't done anything. I didn't do anything. I accomplished goddamn nothing today. And that pisses me off. And that's my own damn fault. Because I focused my energy and attention in a way that made no godly sense. Now, I'll help legislators understand this. I think Lindsay and Rufo actually do a much better job of it than I do, because I just don't have the goddamn patience. Those men are saints. I don't have goddamn patience for this crap. I will do, like, if someone asks what it is and asks me to explain it, like, I will. But what I want to focus my energy and attention on is making it more difficult for them to persist in this ideology than it is for them to retreat. Because that is the only way that we win. That is it. That is it. There have to be consequences for teaching a large segment of society that they're goddamn racist when they're not, when their behavior is not, when their perspective is not. There have to be consequences for that. That's the only way it stops. And I just don't know why this is so difficult to understand. I don't understand why it is so difficult to, dude, I would rather have nice conversations every single day of the week. But that doesn't make it harder for this ideology to perpetuate. We've got to stop kidding ourselves, man. I'll tell you what. Because the very definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again and expecting different results. You want to have these intellectual conversations about the hypocrisy of critical race theory, and everyone smokes a pipe and has a good laugh and has a whiskey or whatever. Ha 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 ha, aren't we so smart? And you accomplish nothing because you haven't made it harder for them to continue. All you've done is pat yourselves on the back for being so intellectual. Patting you, oh, I testified today in the Rhode Island House of Representatives. Ha 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 ha, aren't I special? Well, no, I'm not. I wasted my goddamn time today. I wasted my time. And maybe for a brief moment, I made it difficult for that chairman who has no interest in what I has to say and is going to take one look at the written testimony. He doesn't give a flying fuck. But maybe I made his life difficult for one moment. Maybe that is, if I had any win today, that is the one win that I had. The bill's sponsor did a great job too. She did a great job pushing back on it. She did a good job. Because she understood it. She took the time to understand it. The rest of these people have no interest, and I don't know, man. I don't know. So, that's kind of where I'm at right now. What I want to focus my energy and attention on, and I'm not quitting, not giving up, but I want to focus my energy and attention on making life difficult for the people who are perpetuating this ideology, because they've been making everyone else's life difficult for decades. And no one has given it back. Well, I shouldn't say no one. Very few people have given it back to them and said, we're going to treat you the same way that you're treating us. I really think that this is the only way this is defeated. All this stuff, trying to pass laws, it's going to work when they're Republican. It's not going to work when they're not. Period. End of discussion. That's all that it is. That's all that it is. The rest is just nonsense. We have so passed the point where there's going to be any bipartisan agreement on this. There's going to be no bipartisan agreement on this. None. It's not going to work. So the only thing we have left is to make their lives difficult if they continue to insist on it. So that's what I'm going to do. That's all I got for right now. I'll see you soon.